Here, test, test. All right. First of all, I want to start off by definitely giving a lot of credit to Coach Fritz and what he has done in a short period of time at Tulane. I thought he had his team extremely ready to play, even though they fell down early, their ability to battle back in the second half, win the battle of field position, says a lot about what he's building. So got great respect for him and the program and what he's trying to turn around there. Very proud of our players, very proud of the resiliency that they showed in the ball game. I was a little bit worried coming into the game about, where our emotions, could we play it with a high level of emotion coming off of the week before performance. Nothing about our culture sets back and lives in the past, but you're also trying to teach a group of young men on how to win. And that's part of a challenge moving forward with these young men, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But so I didn't know if we would come out flat. Just didn't have an idea on how we would respond to the prior week's performance. We came out actually on fire and played really, really well, I thought, especially defensively in the first half. Giving up 50-something yards of offense against a triple option team says a lot about our guys and the direction our defense is heading. And then basically to control the entire first half, battle of field position, us be able to flip the field, execute at a high level, very efficient on third down on both sides of the ball. And to jump out 21-10 at half, actually felt like we had another touchdown there that if we just get the ball up and over a D lineman on a screen pass, I think we may score again before half. But they made a great play on it and stayed in the game because of that. But James Prochet, obviously his performance was huge. His big third down catches that he made in the first half was led to us, went on in and scored a touchdown on that one. So again, coming in at halftime, we felt good. We felt that we had a great plan coming out after half. Thought that defensively, we knew what they were doing. We had done a great job playing assignment sound football. Offensively, we just needed to continue to execute, continue to run the football. I chose to take the win in the fourth quarter. And during the third quarter, we lost the battle of field position and could never flip the field back. One first down and I think we had 3 possessions and only 1 first down, 15 total yards of offense in the second half, or in that third quarter, was really put our backs up against the wall. We just as we felt like we would pick up 5 yards on first down inside our own 5-yard line, and the very next play, we fumble the ball, and now we're back on the 2-yard line again, and just could never get the momentum going in that third quarter, and couldn't punt enough to flip the field, the wind in our face, to get the things turned in our direction. And with that, they scored on back-to-back drives. And then when we did get the field flipped, they went on a long run and wound up scoring on three straight possessions. So you find yourself trailing now and trailing by 10 going into the fourth quarter, right there at the end of the 10 minutes to go in the game. But again, there was no panic. I was very proud of our guys. I think it really said a lot about where our program has been, to be able to come from behind, first of all, take a lead in the first half, and to come from behind in the manner that we did and have to battle back. Our total focus was on just picking up first downs. First downs would lead to touchdowns. So let's play this thing one play at a time, one first down at a time, and let our process take care of itself. But we did say this: there was going to have to be some plays being made. Somebody among our group was going to have to make plays. Deion Green, obviously, with a big fourth down stop, which got the ball back to us, enabled us to go win a ball game. James Prochet, Ben Hicks, the adjustments that we were having to make from the press box all the way back down on the field. I thought they had a great plan and how they played up front defensively. We knew coming into the ball game that one of the strengths of their football team was their D-line, and we knew we had our work cut out for us in protecting for Ben. But our guys were able to make plays in the right times and never gave up, never panicked, never flinched, and was able to come away with a huge win for this program and where we are at this point in time in the season to get us back to 4-4. It's hard to win, period. It's really hard to win on the road. As you could see in our conference, there was only 2 teams that won on the road, us and Tulsa. And so for us to be able to come away with a road win, to get us back to 500, 2-2 in conference play, and as I've shared with our guys, our mentality is the best is yet to come. We want to make this a November to remember. So to see the growth of Ben Hicks, while he may not have played his best game overall, his competitiveness, his ability to the I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this team back rolling again says a lot about him, to be able to scramble, keep his eyes down the field, and give us a chance by getting the ball to James Prochet. Thought Xavier Castile had some incredible catches in key moments. Shelby Walker's another one. Defensively, I thought Deion Green, R.C. Cox, those 2 guys were our players of the game. Jackson Mitchell, what you don't know, on the fourth down stop, it was made by Deion Green, but Jackson Mitchell actually set it up on the third down play that he made. But again, I'm excited where we are. These guys have a lot of confidence. They're playing with confidence, and they're having fun. They're playing for the love of each other. This is a very close football team, and that excites us as a coaching staff, because that says the hard work and the training through the summer months is really paying off. So with that, I know we've got an opponent coming in this week that we very familiar to us. Coach Norvell is one of the best offensive minds in all of college football. Very sound program football coach that actually he and I worked together. He was our wide receiver coach when we were at Tulsa. So I know Mike and know a lot of those guys on that staff really well. So we've got our work cut out for us. Memphis is coming in off of a 2-game losing streak, and but again, it's they're playing 1 week at a time as we are. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Your defense really seems to do whatever's necessary. I mean, you can't really point to one bigger statistical category. What is it about the defense that really is clicking?
Well, I think, and I've said it all year long, I think our depth up front has really helped us stay as fresh as possible through the course of the season. I thought that Coach Wyatt, Coach Malone have done a really good job, and how that they sub early in the year has really kept our guys fresh. Zelt Minor's playing really well, really solid right now. Obviously, we know what Jarvis Pruitt is doing. He's playing well. Deion Green now is another guy that we've mentioned that's played well all year long and really played well the other night. So it always seems to be somebody always comes to the forefront. Justin Lawler's another guy that's, man, he emptied his tank. I mean, we weren't pressuring right there at the end, but he was having to get all his pressure through a pass rush, and it was more of a bull rush. And his ability to on the last play of the game to force the quarterback to scramble and throw off balance was huge. And so again, those guys are really playing well. I think it has a lot to do with the depth that we have. In the secondary, obviously, we've been one of the creating turnovers. The interceptions has really been the maturity level of a Jordan Wyatt, really growing, moving from safety to corner this year. He's found his home. And D. Mill, obviously a guy that's been one of the most physical players on our team. and just watching their maturity level grow. Horace is another one. Horace has played well all year long, been very consistent for us. So I think a lot of it's the maturity level of these guys. I really believe, and I keep saying this, but this is a very close football team. And I know on the defensive side of the ball, they're extremely close, and they believe in our plan. They believe in Coach Malone and what he's doing. And it's really, you've really seen the progress from year 1 to year 2 with these guys. So.
Did you see any lack of that belief last year as the players were getting used to you and your staff?
Yeah, no, we didn't. I mean, and I've said this before. Last year's seniors, man, and I've mentioned this in our team meeting. I mentioned it on my radio show. Last year's seniors laid the foundation. They did kind of so to speak the dirt work. They came in. They had no other choice but to believe in us and buy into what we were about. But at the same sense, they only knew us for 4 months, and so. While they believed in us and they come around and, man, they're so excited for us right now. It is because of them, the success that we're having. They laid the foundation to allow this year's senior class to leave their legacy. And so our message to the seniors is, look, you get to leave your legacy now. What do you want to be remembered by? What do you want these younger players to see you in your final 32 days? What do they want to see you and how you have performed all year long? Because you're leaving a legacy that'll be followed. And so it's been really neat to watch those guys lead this football team. And that's something we talk to those guys about every Sunday night. I know Coach Craddock and Coach Malone visit with our seniors every Sunday night, and it's really kind of a special time. It's about a 10-minute meeting that they have with them, and I'm not involved. It's just them, the coordinators, and our seniors. And so that's been really special to watch and to share with them how much we appreciate their buy-in. But it wasn't – no, last year's seniors bought in. But, again, when you know somebody for 4 months or 5 months, I mean, you're learning them. And there's a lot of learning that goes on. New system. So, where's your total focus at? And so I just think that that's the dirt work that was done, kind of like building a house. Well, I think it does a lot. And I said this last week. I think that, some teams choose to double Cortland, and when they do, James is shown forth of what he's capable of doing. And so it is. It's how you play these guys. To see James have the success that he had the other night was something that we've seen flashes this year. We were just waiting for that breakout game, and we were able to get that the other night, and thankfully we were, because it was much needed. Even though Cortland still had a good game, he dropped a ball down the sidelines, which I think would have helped continue the drive. But for James to have that type of game, Xavier Castile to have the game that he had. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row I've mentioned Xavier. The week before, while he may not have caught the balls and gotten the stats, but he made some unbelievable blocks and playing exceptionally well without the ball. Shelby Walker, 2 weeks in a row, having 2 big-time catches for us. To see him come forward and to start making plays, he's blocking a lot better without the ball now. And so, again, those guys are really coming forward and playing well. Kevin Thomas is another young man that is growing up. And again, you're so young. And you had to put guys in some situations early in the year that maybe they weren't ready for just yet. And so through the growth process of this team, when you lose your starting left tackle, your starting quarterback, and your starting running back, and essentially you lose your second quarterback for much of the year, there's only way to get guys. You can practice all you want, and you can practice as fast as you want, but the only way that you can do it is get actual game speed reps. And these guys had to grow through the games that and that's why you've seen Ben Hicks get so much better. It's why you've seen these guys grow and mature more. And then you look back at, we've lost 4 ball games. We've lost to Baylor, we lost to TCU, and we lost to 2 teams that are at the top of each one of our divisions right now. And so, which kind of tells you, we were playing pretty good football early in the year. We're playing against some good teams. But I still think the turning point right now was was the challenge after Temple, and I think the hurt and heartbreak that you saw on these guys' face after the Tulsa game. This says we were so close, but they never wavered. Just like the other night, they never wavered. Even in those moments after Tulsa, just like the going into the fourth quarter against Tulane, there was no panic. It was, we've got to respond. We got to just continue to respond. That's the only thing we can control.
You can see statistically how Ben has grown over the course of the year, but how has he changed or evolved off the field as a teammate, as a leader, since he took over for Matt?
Yeah. I think, first of all, Ben's always had great confidence, and we've talked about that. But I think the thing, what you've seen is you've seen how the other players have responded to him now. Where he was wanting it so bad and he had so much confidence in it so bad that now he sees that the players see, you know, especially after the Temple game when he just took a beating, and to get back up, he gained a lot of respect from his teammates that week, and then to come into the Tulsa game, I just think that they've gained so much confidence in him, which has boosted his confidence level even more. So yeah.
After last year's season-ending game in Memphis and how that went, is there any extra motivation or any extra proof not to play again this week?
Well, the one thing that I shared with our players on that last game that we played against these guys was we're not going to harp on that ball game. That was a different year. There's a different team. We're really not. We're not really comparing just outside the logos. You're not comparing, you know, anything really two likes. I mean, some of the same guys that were on that team a year ago are playing some of the best football of anybody in the country right now, and they were on that team last year. And so it's two totally different teams, and for me to come in and to focus all our attention on the emotions of last year's game and what we felt would be doing our players an injustice, be doing our staff an injustice, when we could be focusing on what we can control, and that's how we prepare every day. Do they know that? Do they remember that ball game? Absolutely. Do I have to remind them of that every day? No way. They see it. They know it. They know that a lot of our respect was taken away from us in that game on that 11 months ago. And so they understand that. They understand that right now that it's all about the SMU Mustangs and what can we control, and that's how we approach today's practice.
As you mentioned, since you saw them a year ago, they do have a new coach. Paxton Lynch is in the NFL, but in terms of the coaching change, what are the most visible schematic differences or the way they'll line up that'll look different on Saturday?
Well, they've always been, even last year, they were very explosive offensively, and they are that this year too. And Mike being Coach Norvell being an offensive-minded coach, but just got great defensive knowledge and how to attack defenses. Again, I've said that before. I think he's one of the best minds in all of college football, and so he'll have his guys ready. They do a great job. Riley Ferguson is a young man that we know that we've recruited him. Coach Craddock and I did. He came on a visit when we were out at Clemson, so we know Riley, a fierce competitor. Has thrown 17 touchdowns, over 2,200, almost 2,300 yards. He's playing really well, and just a great competitor. He's got 6 returning starters back on the offensive side of the ball. They're very dynamic in their kick return game. Tony Pollard is as dynamic a guy as there are in this conference. And so we know what they do offensively. They're going to be very aggressive. They like to run the football, but they're going to take their vertical shots. And so, again, that's averaging about 37 points a game. The biggest thing that I see from a defensive standpoint is they're very aggressive. They put a lot of pressure on you, and because of that, it's led them to be number 3 in the country in turnovers. They've got 20 turnovers right now, 11 interceptions, and 9 fumble recoveries. So because of the way they pressure you and how they attack you, they do a great job of disguising their coverages, but they force you to put the ball in jeopardy a bunch. They force you to to make impulse decisions, and when they capitalize on interceptions. And so, that was one thing that they beat Temple. I think they had a pick six, which led to eventually them winning the ball game. But very aggressive, very solid at the linebacker position. And again, they're coming off of two games. They played Navy, they played Tulsa, two teams that are at the top of our division right now, and they're going to come into this ball game with their back against the wall and playing one play at a time, just like we do. But again, I go back. They're a very well coached football team, but it's about the SMU Mustangs, and that's really our total focus. We're going to have them prepared for this. They're going to know that what they do, but it's how we approach every day today, and how we respond is going to determine what the outcome eventually gets to.
Coach Norvell in Memphis, what impressed you about him? It's a lot of what he's done now, especially at such a young age.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a really sound offensive mind, and being able to spend, obviously been around him for a year, and even our staffs got together when he was at Arizona State and we were at Clemson. We would get together and talk ball. Would talk periodically through the course of a year, whether it's through text messages or phone calls, just asking, hey, what do you like in this? How do you attack this? Those things you just do when you work with guys. And so just the way he game plans, the way he sees defenses, sees coverages. He's just a really smart football coach. Had been underneath obviously been underneath Coach Graham. He and I both have, and to know the type of program that Coach Graham runs, he's ready. He's ready to be a head coach, and he'll have these guys ready. There's no doubt about that.
What injuries can you update?
Yeah, right now I really don't know. It's probably just kind of like last week. Everything's day to day, and Braden West will be a guy that we'll try to get in practice today a little bit, see where he is, and move him forward. And if not, he'll be a guy that'll be ready for game time. It's just how much can he go through the course of the week? I really feel like he's felt better Sunday than he's felt in a long time. So I expect him to be back in, ready to go at some point this week. So.
You mentioned after the game, Blake Carlisle.
Yeah, Blake, it doesn't look like Blake will be in right now. Blake, I believe we've diagnosed him with a concussion, and so and it happened on one of our special teams units, but he'll go through the protocol that we have. I don't expect him to be back this week. So that's usually customary, though. So we'll see. Yeah, we do. We expect Carlos back. We thought Carlos was going to be able to play, and just couldn't. Just at game time, we just didn't feel comfortable yet. So we thought maybe another week may do him good. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.